Hey everyone, it's Chrissy here, the Creative Eclectic. Welcome to our Sunday Night Live. Sorry, we're a bit later than what I planned. Just because I had a coughing fit, so I couldn't go live while I was coughing, so I'm sorry about that. Let's see if this is working. Now, thank you for joining me for our our mini catalogue party weekend. I hope that you've had a fabulous weekend. I had fun doing some extra projects over the weekend, so just seeing if this is going live because I can't find it. Oh, there we go. Now, if you're watching, make sure that you comment, and because I'm doing a lucky draw at the end of this live, and you'll get to win a little prize from me for participating in my mini catalogue launch party. Okay, so again, my apologies for being a little late, but I didn't think that you wanted me to be coughing. All right. Hello, Glenda. Make sure you comment, and I can see you're watching. Make sure you comment so that I can put another entry into the draw for you for a lucky draw prize. And I've got a voucher here for you too. I need to talk to you about that. Will you be back at Coffee, Cake and Cards this week? I hope so. I hope you're back. We've missed you. Alright, so I'm going to do my final project of the weekend, and I'm also going to share with you a little sneak peek of our October class. I can't show you the sneak peek of our September class yet, but I will do the October one. Excuse me. Sorry, I've just realised with the microphone you can probably hear me swallowing. So what mini catalogue product do you think that I'm going to play with tonight? Next month. Well, that's no good, Glenda. Anyway, yes, it's $50. It was gifted to you, Glenda, so another person won it and they gifted it to you. So that's pretty cool. So tonight we are going to play with some of the paper from the Sentimental Christmas Suite. Now, let me show you this. This is lots of fun. Okay. Now, I've just written your entry into the draw for tonight, Glenda. So, yeah. Let's write that down. As people join on, I'm going to add them to the draw. So, Glenda S. There we go. And this is a bit later than what I would normally do a Facebook Live, and I don't normally do one on a Sunday night either, but anyway. So let's talk about this Sentimental Christmas paper. This is so vintage and beautiful, and I think that it's going to be lots of fun to play with. So I'm just showing you. So this is 12 by 12 paper. It's quite thick. And I haven't really in my head worked out how it might work with my project, but we're going with it anyway. tonight. And this is the paper that I want to use tonight. Oops, I'll gather them a bit closer together. So it's got reindeers, it's got bits of floral things, it's got candles. Oh, it's got this one with it's like a scrapbook page. It's got Christmas stockings. Yeah, so it's got lots and lots of beautiful images. Now this is part of our paper share, so if you sign up for our paper share tonight, you get $99 or a little over $99 worth of paper, plus you also get a $25 gift for $87. So that's a pretty good deal. And the cutoff is tonight, but if you're having trouble with that, let me know. All right, so we are going to use this paper. And I don't know why I chose this paper, I just think it's lovely. Hi Jackie, thanks for watching. Make sure if you're watching you comment in the so that I can add you to the draw. Oh, that's great, Jackie, you've commented, so I'm going to add your name into the draw, the lucky draw for tonight. Okay, we've got a few names in our little cup. Okay, so I have got the embellishments and the ribbon up here also. So we're going to play with that ribbon. Just look at this. This is so beautiful. So it's got like a sheer bit and it's got satin and oh, so lovely. Anyway, so that's our so this is a bit of a technique laden card. It's a simple layout but got lots of technique. So what I'm going to do first is, just so I can get this paper out of the way, is cut a piece of this. Now I'm going to cut it to 10 centimetres or 10 centimetres. Let's just work in centimetres tonight. I don't normally, but let's just do that. 10 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. Okay, so we've got that one. I'll move my cutting machine out of the way. Now what else do we need? So we need a card base. So I have got a pecan pie card base, and I'm really hoping that these go together. Yep, that should be right. I've also got some basic white for the inside. I've got a pecan pie circle, and I've got a scrap of, well, it's not really a scrap, but a piece of shaded spruce. I've also got some of this fluid watercolour paper, and I've got my Humble Home stamp set and punch. I've got some Stampin' Right markers. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't use my Stampin' Right markers enough. Right, so today I thought, let's do a little technique with the Stampin' Right markers. And I've also got my black and white embossing powders. So here, these are brand new. So these are much finer than the previous Stampin' Up powders, and I think that, well, maybe because they're new, they definitely heat very, very quickly. All right, so, and then we've got some white as well. So they come in a pack of 3. We've got a bright white and a gloss. So we're going to use the bright white as well. So to emboss, we need our heat tool. We need our embossing essentials kit, which has our tweezers, our little tray, and our embossing buddy. I also have a couple of little airline spoons. I've also got my water painters, and also on my desk I have the Forever Plaid embossing folder. So are you intrigued yet? So let's start with just the basics of our card making, and we are going to use the Humble Home stamp set. I'm going to move these bits that I don't need immediately out the way so they don't get knocked over. Oh, hi Kim, thanks for watching. Make sure that you comment if you're watching, and your name will go in the draw for a prize at the end of the Facebook Live. All right. Now, people who have gone in the draw are also people who have watched and commented on replay over the weekend as well. Any of my Facebook Lives during our mini catalogue launch party. So I've got my first stamp. Now I've got this fluid white paper, and I am just going to use my embossing buddy and absolutely go to town on my fluid white paper, making sure, like, I've rubbed my fingers over the embossing buddy as well to make sure I've got some of that talcum powder on my little fingers, so I don't get any oil from my fingers onto the background. Now, I have had a piece of foam here all weekend, and do you think that I can see it right now? So I'm just putting my silicone craft mat. Now, if you had a computer mouse mat or a stamping pierce mat, or just a piece of foam or the silicone, what it does when you're using a clear stamp is it just gives you a little bit of a a little bit of give when you're stamping. Now, I could stamp like that, but if you can see, my house isn't the right size, so I'm just going to turn my Versamark around so it's up, and I'm going to stamp this twice. Stamp. I'm fairly close to the bottom because I'm going to be punching it out, so I need to have a little bit at the bottom. Now, you can't see where I've stamped in the Versamark, but I know that I have heaps of room, so I've stamped towards both edges. You know, Jackie, you could get they have some embossing brushes, and you just put talcum powder in them. I have one of those. It was gifted to me, and it's awesome. Now, I'm going to use, working really quickly, so this is an ebony embossing powder. So I want to not let that Versamark dry. Now, I've put way more than I need on there. I love red and white and green for Christmas too, but I also love pink and blue, pale pink and blue. And oh, look, I've got a it everywhere. Oh dear, that'll drive me nuts. So if you spill it, grab a, I'll send you a photo, Jackie, and I know where she got it from, so I can tell you that too. Yeah, so grab your baby wipe. If you spill it, grab the baby wipe and just wipe up your embossing powder. Okay, and you're just going to flick it. So Kim Heath, I haven't seen you comment yet, and I can't enter you into the drawer unless you comment on our Facebook Live. So I'm just going to pop a bit more on that one. This is why you're supposed to have that little tray underneath. And it does come, Embossing Essentials does come with a brush. Which is very similar to this one. I don't know if this is the one that comes with the Embossing Essentials or not. And I've accidentally wiped some off, so I'm going to just try again. So I mustn't have, and I'm not completely happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I probably will stamp that again. But let's just heat it up. So give me a moment and we'll heat it up and see how that looks. And I've got more paper so I can do it again. So you can see where I've accidentally touched that. It didn't work out. But I'm not going to discard that, right? I'm going to just punch it out and pop it in the front of my Humble Homes stamp set because there are pieces of it, like the door, that I can use, okay, if I'm doing some paper piercing or something like that. So let's just quickly re-stamp another one. So who else do we have watching with us tonight? Not exactly sure. So, oh, excuse me. I had a really lovely afternoon with my good friend Vicky. She came over and she organised what supplies we have because some of them didn't arrive, which is a bit sad. So it'll be arriving tomorrow. And prepping for retreat. So that's really exciting. I'm just waiting for the last of the raffle prizes to turn up on my doorstep, and then we'll be offering raffles this week. All right, okay, Jackie. Have fun at work. Are you in 3B? Is that your ward? You have to tell me. So Jackie, if you're in 3B, my girlfriend's in that ward, so message me and I'll, she's a patient at the moment, message me and I'll tell you. Okay, so that one looks much better. I'm happy with that one. Look, it's so much better than this one here. Now we just want to do 2 more little bits of heat embossing. Okay, and we've done with the black, but we're going to do some white heat embossing. Hello, Marnie. Oh, I can put your name in the drawer for tonight too. You've commented on our post. I'm hoping not to keep everyone too late. I have had a very busy weekend online, and we've been retreat prepping as well, so I am going to sleep very, very well tonight. Okay, so I've got my brand new opaque white embossing powder. Okay, so I've got embossing powder over here that I don't want. So again, get your baby wipe. The reason I use a baby wipe is it just picks it all up. Don't use this baby wipe that you've picked up the embossing powder with to wipe your stamp, okay? Because it won't clean it. All right. So I've got this pecan pie circle. Now, I did intend originally to heat emboss it and then run it through the die cutting machine and emboss it. Yeah, it has been a massive day, Melanie, but you know what? It's been fun, and I'm really happy with where we are with our retreat prep, and I'm really happy with where I am with my coffee, cake and cards prep and my classes prep. So it's been worth it. Now, my Versamark pad has got some Wayward embossing powder on it, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Okay, again using my baby wipe, and I hate my embossing powder, my Versamark getting dirty, but sometimes that happens. So I'm just going to use my embossing buddy first. I'll sip that on there. Just use my embossing buddy and go all over my little... No, I didn't, Marnie. I got a notification saying it's coming tomorrow. So we've prepped, Vicky's arrived, so we prepped all of her stuff. Well, packed all of her stuff. I prepped all of my cards anyway. They've been prepped for 2 weeks. I was pretty impressed by that. Okay, so we're just going to put a little white embossing powder over the thank you. So again, those embossing buddies are just amazing. Now, if you don't have an embossing buddy, use a dryer sheet if that's something that you have. I'm just going to put a bit more on. Okay. I just want to make sure there's no wayward bits on there. All right, so we'll just see how this white embosses. Now, it's a little bit warm on my fingers. quickly, that emboss. That's pretty cool. I just want to do a bit along the top. So that embossed really quickly. Now I've got, let's have a green strap. Yeah, it does. Probably might look like my face before coffee. Or it could be a Halloween face, like it's got little eyes there, a little Halloween mouth. Oh dear. All right. So I've got my piece of green, shaded spruce. And I'm quickly going to grab my block. Now this is a nice, I'm using the block I because it's a nice long thing, sentiment, and it's too big for a block D really. So we'll get our embossing buddy. Be really generous with it, because I do not want any wayward ink on this. Okay, so we're going to just sit it there for a second because I haven't used it before. Yeah, I'm just doing a thank you card. This is for a friend of ours, so he has been so helpful and he's going through a lot, so he's helped us out with a few things this week, so we just wanted to give him a little thank you. Now I don't know if that's straight because I didn't go over top of it, but I can always trim it. And he has given us some nice things. A nice bottle of wine actually. So let's just pop this embossing powder in here. Just going to flick it. All right, I think I'm just going to need to grab my little spoon and just put a little bit more on, because I probably do need to re-ink my Versamark because it's had a red hot go this week. All right, so we're just going to do that. All right, just give it a blast from the front. So that's all ready now. So next up, I'll pop my lid on my embossing powder, because the last thing that we want it to do is fall over onto the carpet, and yeah, I don't think I'd be popular. Okay, now we've done all our stamping, we've done our embossing, we have a little bit of cutting and colouring to do, and then we will be done. So if you've joined us late, make sure you comment on the before the live ends, so that you go into the draw for a prize. Because if I can't see your comment, I don't know. Did you really watch? You know. So I'm just going to just trim this. Cut this off. It looks reasonably straight. I think I'm going to cut it at 3/8 of an inch, 3/4. No, 5/8 of an inch, I think. I think that'll be enough. Yep. All right. Now I've just spotted I've got some Wayward embossing powder over here, so let's just get that off. With our baby wipe and get rid of the blocks. All right. So I've got as I said, I've stamped this. Oh, I didn't heat that enough. Let's just heat that a bit more. I'll heat this one a bit more too. Now, as I said, I've stamped this on our fluid white watercolour paper. So that means that I can watercolour them. So I've got a little paper towel. I'm just going to pop this underneath. But I'm not going to watercolour them in a traditional way. I'm going to watercolour them with the Stamping Right markers. Now, these have recently changed. So the nib on this is changed. So I'm starting with some pecan pie at the top. Now, even though I am watercolouring them, no, Karen, I don't do a live every Sunday. This is just for my mini catalogue launch. But I'm going to put you in the draw for our mini catalogue launch prize as well, Karen. So stay tuned. I normally do my lives every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. So this is just a little extra. I've been doing lives pretty much all weekend. Just for a little bit of extra fun, because the new mini catalogue was launched this week. So I wanted to show people things from the catalogue and have a bit of fun as well. So I'm just using my Stamping Right marker here just to do a little bit of colouring. I'm going to do the same on this one here. Now you might think, why are you using Stamping Right markers on watercolour paper? Because I can, and there are a couple of techniques to do this, but we're doing it very rough watercolouring. Okay, so I want to add a little bit more colour. I think that this needs a shaded spruce. No, so this is the new nib of the Stamping Right marker. This is the old one. So the green one is the old one. It still works. I'm replacing all of mine. Now I'm just popping a little bit of colour in each of the scallops on my green, on my little gingerbread house. You don't have to do a lot, just a little bit. Because remember, we're going to add some water to this. I have been a busy bee, Marnie. I'm going to show you before the end our some of the cards that you have the option of making for our for our little bit festive class in October, and that will have a special offer coming out with that this week, an early bird offer, and it'll be available in person and at home. Okay, so you'll see I haven't done a whole lot of precise colouring. What I'm going to do now is I've got my water painters. Now if you don't have water painters, you can use a paintbrush and water. But before I start with that, I want to put some peach pie on here as well. You think, oh Chrissy, what sort of weird colour combo are you doing? It's going to be fine, trust me. And I think that the chimneys also need a little bit of pecan pie as well, but not quite as much. So we've got shaded spruce, we have peach pie and pecan pie. Now, I haven't done this for a long time, so I'm hoping it works. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? I'll just go the rest of the week, the way the weekend's gone, really. That's all right. Okay, we're going to put a tiny bit pecan pie up on the chimneys as well. Don't know if you can see that well enough. Well, my hand's covering it, so I'm sorry if my hand is covering it. Okay. All right, so the last bit we'll do is we're going to put a teeny bit of Summer Splash. Now see, so each Stampin' Right marker, sorry, I need to explain this. Each Stampin' Right marker has two ends. So they have a bullet end and they have a thick end, and that's denoted by the line, okay? So just going to put a little bit of Summer Splash in each of the corners of the window as well. So it'll be a nice colourful house. So yes, they did, Marnie. They did make it home safely. They came home early on Thursday. So everyone was expecting them Friday except for me, because I knew they were coming. So what I'm doing here is I'm just squeezing some water onto my card. We don't want too much water. We just want enough to move that ink around. So what happens when you heat emboss, and if it's not moving, like it's not here, what you can do is just get your block, put your Stampin' Right mark right on your block with your Stampin' Right marker. Now these are water based, okay, and so then you can just move it a little bit more. So there's two ways using this fluid watercolor paper that you can manipulate your ink. Now, if you've overheated your heat embossing, what will happen is that your water will just run, okay? I'm just going to see if that's going to... I'll just put a big droplet of water in and we'll just let that sit. We'll just few droplets of water all over that one and just see whether or not I've overheated my embossing powder. Now, while that's happening for the top one, I'm just going to continue wetting. Oh, so I'm going to do the green next. Yes, Marnie, they made it home safely. They've spent most of Friday and Saturday at my sister's because the band's there. We did have a discussion about, well, you're just around the corner, you could come have a cuppa with me, but the mum was pretty tired, so I get why she didn't. Alright, so now, and because I haven't wet this yet, I can add, using my brush tip, some more peach pie ink, just randomly, so that I can colour it. So I'm going to spread it with my watercolour. Now, you can make this dark or you can make it light, or just wipe that off. So nothing seems to be working for me this weekend. I don't know why. So did you like today's project, Marnie and Glenda? Who else is watching? I can't see who else is watching. I did like the book that we did earlier today. It wasn't how it was supposed to be. Now, when you're watercolouring with Stamping Right markers, what you can do is you can have them a lot darker than if you were just watercolouring just using a blending brush. So you can add all that extra colour. So they can still be really bright. And I think when we, because everybody's in love with alcohol markers. So when we use alcohol markers and we get all excited about using those, we forget about our Stamping Right markers, and we forget that they are such a great tool. And I'm just going to make sure that it's got lots of colour. And what I will do is I'm going to spray it with my spritzer also, but I need to make sure that I've done all my brown first. So in between colours, just wipe your aqua painter or whatever well, we used to call them aqua painters, now we call them something else. Water painters. Oh, you liked that too? I really enjoyed doing that. It didn't quite work how I planned, but now I want to lift some of that colour off. So I'll just put some water on it and just lift it. And if it doesn't lift the way I want, we can just add a bit more. And I'm going to put some water on the door and see if that runs. Sometimes if the watercolour paper is a bit old, the ink won't run, but I'm okay with it having some texture. And if I spray the whole thing with a spritzer, then I can even lift off some of the colour so it's not quite so bright. Okay. I still want it bright, but I don't want it super bright. And it's starting to lift off some of that colour. And the more water you add, you just need to be careful that it doesn't run. And really, you should do one colour at a time. That works so much better if you just do one colour at a time. I'm just going to grab my brush tip again, and I'm just going to go over that. And you can use these on the wet paper. It's probably not going to... Oh, hi Glenda. Oh, I can put your name in the drawer for yet another time. We're just playing with the what are they called? They are called... Oh, Karen, I didn't write your name down. Sorry. We're playing with the Stamping Right markers, some fluid watercolour paper, and some heat embossing. So I'm just lifting up some of that colour, and I'm going to spritz it again and lift up a bit more. So I'm doing two, just so that I can... so this is just a stamping spritzer that's got some water in it. If you don't have one of those, you could use a spray bottle like that. You know, use what you have. All right, so that's starting to look a bit faded, which is what I wanted. Let's have a look at the one at the top. Now it is quite wet, so you do need to make sure, and I've just seen that I've got a little runny ink booger here, so I'm just gonna go over that bit there. So you need to make sure when you go to punch it that you've dried it off a bit. Okay, I'm okay with those colours. I think that that's sort of cute. They're a bit different, and as I said, this isn't a Christmas card even though it's using Christmas paper. So what I'm going to do here is I'm lifting off some of that colour, and I might need a new paper towel. My cousin's daughter bought these little paper towels when they came over from London last year, and she just left them on my desk. So we're going to do this one like we partially coloured it. So we're going to do this one with the block, using the markers on the block now. So again, you get your... put that underneath. So if you spritz it, right, and then you add a little bit of colour, it does watercolour better. Now I think that we do need to add just add some. Now you don't have to be fussy like me, right? You can do this super quick. I'm just being a bit fussy because I can, and also because I didn't want to watch TV with Steve. No, I don't know what he's watching. He's watching sport. Thank you, Glenda. I do think these little houses are so cute. This is the set that is part of our retreat, and I realised today that other than the retreat items, I have no samples with this. So I spritz it with a bit more water. Just so that my ink flows a bit easier. So you'll see I'm here. So if you can't afford to buy the classic ink pads, invest in a set of watercolour Stampin' Right markers, because you can use them to colour your stamps. You can use them to instead of an ink pad. Okay, they are so underutilized. Right, so I'm just going to wipe my block. We need to do some more pumpkin pie on the door. Not pumpkin pie, pecan pie. Hi Fiona. Oh, let's put your name in the drawer too. It's quite all right. So Fiona, we're playing with the Fiona with the Humble Home stamp set, which you'll be getting at retreat on. You and Marnie will be getting at retreat on Saturday, and then we've been playing with the Stampin' Right markers. Now I want to put a bit more colour on here, and I'm okay that my door is going to be multicoloured because that's what watercolouring sort of does. Okay, and spritz it a little bit more, and as you spritz it, it does run outside the edges if you have overheated your embossing powder, which I obviously did. So we've got a peach pie house, and it's got shaded spruce gables, and also some, now I'm just wiping it to lift up a little bit of the colour. I don't want it too dark. I think that doesn't look too bad actually. I'm not completely happy with the door, but what we could do, let's just grab this door from here, and we're going to spritz it, and we're going to grab our Stampin' Right marker, rub it on our block. Well, this month we'll be doing lots with Stampin' Right markers actually. So stay tuned, and I can tell you there'll be something very special happening with the markers the last week of the month. Right, so I'm just going to wipe that up a little bit. I want to make it a bit darker again. So when you have too much water, it's just going to sit, the colour's going to sit on the top. Okay, so we're using fluid watercolouring paper. Oh, that's a better colour. I'm going to cut out this door because I think that will look better than if I just leave the door as it is. I am okay that it is the way that it is, but I think on this one here where it's much paler, we need to have a lighter door. So I'm going to quickly, the spritz is water, especially with the alcohol, with the fluid watercolour paper. If you spritzed with alcohol ink, it would just dry straight away. So you wouldn't get pooling and all of that sort of effect. Okay. So we're just going to quickly heat up or dry off on the low setting. So the heat tool has a high and a low setting. We're just going to quickly dry the paper a bit more so we can punch it. Oops. Okay, so that's reasonably dry. It'll be dry enough to punch, all right? This one's much drier. So we're just going to use the Humble Home Punch. Just punch it out. Oh. There we go. It doesn't normally look that hard. All right. And then this is the other one. Now this might still be a little bit wet. Oh, goodness. I don't have any strength in my hands today, so I'm also going to punch this one out. But I'm going to fussy cut the door. And the reason I'm punching it out is because it'll just make it easier for me to turn the paper as I fussy cut that door. So let's talk about fussy cutting. So all I want to do is I just want to be turning my paper, not my scissors, as I'm fussy cutting. I reckon this little house might be a card we need to do at our coffee, cake and cards this Wednesday. Really looking forward to that. If you're local to Algesta Parkinson, we meet on the second Wednesday of the month for coffee, cake and cards at Joe & Co Cafe. All right, so grab my silicone craft mat. And I'm just going to glue that pecan pie door on the front. You'll be there, that's fabulous. And then I'll see you on Saturday too. And I'll see Marnie on Friday. Oh, it's going to be a big week. I'm hoping to see Charlene tomorrow. And Jackie at some stage during this week. Oh, it's all going on. Okay, I'm going to wipe off that bit of excess glue. So we've got our two little houses. The last little technique I wanted to show you is I've got my embossing folder here. This is the new one. It's called the Forever Plaid. Now, I don't have my large embossing machine up here. But what I do have, I've only got my mini, so I can't put this through my mini. So what I want to do is I still want the plaid pattern. So I'm going to just get my pecan pie ink pad and I'm just popping that onto the inside. Now, I'm just going to grab a little piece of paper. Oh, Jodie, you're watching. Make sure you comment, Jodie, so that you can go in the drawer for a prize. Can't put you in the drawer unless you comment. All right, I'm just going to pop that bit of paper there. So I'm just masking that with a piece of scrap paper. Put a bit more ink down the bottom. So this doesn't wreck your ink pad, but doesn't wreck your embossing folder. It's water-based, all right? So only do this with classic inks. Don't do it with other inks. Now I'm just going to use my hand. And look, I might get my block, bang my block up and down on it. And take that off. And I just did that because I wanted to add some extra colour, right? because I think that if I didn't add the extra colour, it was going to look a bit dull. All right, so all you need to do to clean off your embossing folder is grab a baby wipe and wipe it. I normally just got a bit of water. I normally would just run it under soapy water in the kitchen. Quite often our dish drainer has embossing folders and blocks and those sort of things, because I've just run them under the soapy, like just a little bit of dish soap. But that's pretty clean. And when I use it next time, it doesn't have any ink, but I do like to wash them as well. All right. So we're up to putting our card together now. And in my head, I had a vision, but I don't know. Now this is a top folding card. So it's basically half a sheet of A4 paper, or A4 cardstock. This is pecan pie. And I've just folded it and just use my bone folder to make sure that crease is nice. Now, I've got a piece of white for the inside. And this is just 14 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. Or you could do it at 3 7/8 of an inch and 3 7/8 and 5 5/8. That's about the same. So I'll just grab my multi-purpose glue. And Joanna, I don't think I'm any more busy than anyone else who works. I just work at different times to other people, that's all. And this is my job, so it has lots going on. Now, don't forget, people, we have our paper shares happening till midnight tonight if you wanted to sign up. I'm hoping this looks all right. Now, we're using the sentimental paper from the mini catalogue. Now I don't want to put too much glue close to the edge. Now, often people think, oh, I've got a piece of pattern paper, so then I need a layer between it and the base card. You really don't, all right? The longest part of this card was actually the colouring, and if I wasn't doing it on camera and explaining it, that colouring would have happened super quick. All right, so we've got that. As I said before, we've already stamped this one, and I've got, so it's starting to come together. I'm going to put the paler one on the front. It's because I think that that's quite nice. So let's see how we can put this together. I think Fiona my working hours are a bit unconventional. That's probably why people think I'm super busy. Because you know, you have to sometimes work on a weekend and stuff. Oh, we've got a bit of glue seeping out. Now, if you wanted, you could have actually embossed that with the embossing machine. So Now what I'm going to do here is cut a little bit off this end and make a little flag, a little banner. I nearly said like a lame joke, like I will call him Eric Banner, but you know, oh dear, must be late. And then I go and tell you the lame joke that I was going to say. Now this is a little bit wonky, so we're just going to straighten up those words. And a beautiful thing about a circle is it's really easy to straighten up. Alright, so Jodie, I haven't seen any comments from you, darling. I want to add you into my drawer. So, that's alright. You must be watching and not listening. Alright, next up we need some stamping dimensionals, because what's a project without a bit of dimension? Now, can we see how this is coming together? I know. I knew you'd get it, Marnie. But Eric Banner, yeah. Oh dear. He's actually a great actor. I really like him. And he's very nice too. He was at one of the balls that I went to and he was just pleasant and kind, and I liked that. Now, I have used the scrappy edges of my dimensionals, but I'm going to add another layer. So I'm going to do these ones for the house, double height. Okay, I've still got some ribbon and some bling to put on this, so don't despair, I will have bling and I will have ribbon, because I just can't not have those things. Now when you're using the scrappy edges, just use them all up. Don't waste anything. Just be aware if they might overlap where they shouldn't do. And make sure you take the backs off them before you add the next layer, because otherwise they're not going to stick. I've got one more I can add. So even though this will have 2 layers, it's still going to be thin enough to post. Oh, yeah, Fiona, the Hulk. And, oh, he's all sorts of good characters, isn't he? You get it. I knew you'd get it. He is a good actor. And he's an Aussie, so we have to like him. Well, we don't have to. Now, I'm going to put a banner on there. I want to have both of my ends of this as a banner. So I'm just folding it in half without creasing, and I'm just going to cut along where my previous banner was, just so that it is reasonably the same, or that the cuts are in the same place. So it doesn't matter if one end's skew-if, because the other end will be skew-if as well. Does that make sense? They're gonna look mirrored when you do it like that. All right, so I've got these dimensional things. That's a technical name for it, okay? And I've got a piece of this shaded spruce ribbon because I can. And I think that just going to cut this off. Now I showed this morning when you cut your ribbon, you just cut it on an angle. Oops, not quite that much of an angle. And it does fray less, but let's see if we can cut this one this way. I don't know that these scissors are sharp enough. Yeah. All right. I think that that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach that to the back. Make sure you take your backing paper off. See, I didn't take it off. And I often, I'll put dimensionals on the back of things before I'm ready to use them, just because I don't want to I don't take the backings off because I don't want them to stick where they shouldn't. So now, because I've got the dimensionals on the back of the ribbon on the back of the dimensionals, I need something else to stick that ribbon on. So I'm just going to grab my Seal Plus. So you could use tear and tape, you could use glue, and I'm just going to pop that. And I might need to straighten my house a little bit. Now, you might not like this because it's not bright colours like you're used to seeing me using. Now, I've got this other one, and I'm just popping that on the inside. And I'm going to see if my Seal Plus works on that. You could use glue. I didn't want my glue to run, so I'm going to put it over on the left side today. I normally, every time I make a card, I usually put it to the right, but today I'm putting it to the left. So we've got these are from the same suite, and they are the Drury adhesive backed gems. I don't know. And we're just going to pop 3 of those on. Actually, let's go rogue. Let's change it up and let's use silver. Just for something a little different. I'll pop that one there. So I'm popping the gems where there aren't, where there isn't too much ink. And then I'm just going to pop the third one down here. Just pop it down there. Oh no, we might just pop it there. There we go. Something a bit different. All right, so that is our little creation for tonight using these Stamping Right markers and also the sentimental paper. I'll just show you that paper. So we've used this Sentimental Christmas 12 by 12 paper, and we will be using this in our September class at the end of the month. And we used the druzy backed embellishments. I don't even know what that means. And then the shaded spruce. What does druzy mean? I don't know. Anyway, so quickly before I go, I just want to show you some of the options that you might choose to create at our October class. and it's called A Little Bit Festive, and it features, and I know it's late and I appreciate you staying on for a little bit longer. So this class uses A Little Bit Festive 12 by 12 designer series paper. So you get a pack of that. You get a pack of 12, what are they called? A pack of the note cards and the Memories and More basic white cards. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can choose to create. Now, this is a self-paced class, so you can change up what you create at our class. Now, these are just some of the things. So you will have enough supplies in our class to make 20 cards. Right, and then there'll be ribbon and there'll be everything that you need. Okay, so we've got a little bit Mary, we've got some note cards. So the Memories and More cards come with note cards. They also come with American size greeting cards. Okay, so you'll have the opportunity to create, like some of these don't have embellishments yet, but this is just a little sneak peek of some of the things that you could choose to do at our October class. So I think they're pretty cute. And there'll be ribbon and there'll be all sorts of things and stamps, and so obviously this isn't all 20 cards, but this gives you an idea of what things that you might like to create. Okay. I used some of my stuff on my Christmas gingerbread house, so we may have some packs for that as well. All right, so the moment you're all waiting for, and that is for our little lucky draw for tonight. Now, I'm going to just get a different container. Let's use just going to pop this container here. So everyone who has watched and commented over the weekend, oh, thank you, Fiona. It's the last weekend in October, that class. All right, so everyone who's commented on any of the lives over in our launch party weekend, I have put your name in the draw, and I'm going to draw someone out, and they're going to get some embellishments in the post and something else perhaps. All right, let's try. And I'm not looking. I've got my hand over. Well, no. I'm looking out the other direction, so I can't see. So let's see. Who have we got here? Karen, and you watched us tonight. I'm actually going to do 2 draws. So Karen, so if you contact me after the live, and you can tell me where I can post your item to. And if you're not a card maker, you let me know and I can send you some handmade cards rather than some embellishments. Okay, let's have a look. Whoops, that one went on the floor. Let's pick that one back up off the floor. It's running away. Who are we going to pick? Oh, they're sticking together. I can't see. Who's that? And that's a blank one. Well, that's no good. Let's see. Glenda S. Well, that's great. Thank you, Glenda. That's really, really good. You will get your little prize when you come home. congratulations. So congratulations, Karen and Glenda. I really appreciate everyone who supported me this weekend. Now remember, if you want to place an order and help me, I have got around about $1,800 to $1,800 in sales till I reach incentive trip. So that is a pretty big achievement, even as it is. But I have got until the end of the month to reach those sales. So if you have any crafting needs and you want to put in an order, just let me know, and we can go from there. I would really appreciate your help. So like, you might need envelopes or adhesive or something like that, or you might want to buy some gifts for your crafty friends. Have a chat to me before the end of the month and let me help you. Okay, until next time, happy creating, have a really great night, and thanks for joining me. Bye for now.